Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. This is the show where we talk about sports with comedians. And of course, we got a lot to talk about this weekend. So let's jump right into it. Let's get ready to get it started. First, bring up one of Philadelphia's own. He loves the Philadelphia Eagles better than he probably loves everybody in his family, too. I don't know. Let's just ask him that. First of all, my man Dave Anderson, also known as the Business Bully. How you doing, sir? How's everything?
I won't be taking any questions today, Frank. I think we did all the talking on the field. Quite frankly, it was a whole lot. Oh, I don't know because look what happened, and I don't think they're going to get past. It's not going to be easy with Washington.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. You definitely got that off. You got that off the ground. You got off his chest. Let's bring up the other comedian in the building. My man's got movie credits, TV credits, but today he's gonna talk sports. He also has been hosting all over the world. My man, Mr. Rodney Perry. Rodney Perry, how you doing, sir? How's everything?
What's going on, guys? Congratulations, Bully.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know he's happy, Rodney. You know what I mean. You know he's happy. He's happy.
I don't know. Bully not a real fan though.
I'm sorry. What?
I don't know if you're a real fan, Mr. Bully.
You're gonna have to give me some facts to back up your hypothesis.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying. I never really heard you talk about Philadelphia. I never heard you. All I hear is cheesesteaks.
Bro, I haven't had a cheesesteak in 4.5 years.
That's what I'm talking about.
But this XL Philadelphia Eagles jersey is fresh. It's a nice hoodie right there. It fits very nicely,
and it's brand new. It's brand new.
I mean, I got the old ones, but I mean, why would I besmirch my team with last year's merch? Last year's merch is now today's merch.
All right, so let's get ready to get the show started. Mr. Rodney Perry, I'm gonna throw it out to you first, man. Let's get ready to talk about before we get to the Eagles game. Let's get ready to talk about the Buffalo Bills played the Kansas City Chiefs game. And first of all, tell me what your thoughts are on the Buffalo Bills Kansas City Chiefs game. What was your thoughts?
I called it, man. I called it. I told y'all. I said Buffalo might have beat Baltimore, but they will not win the next game. I said that. And how about this? I think the team is cursed, and the name of the curse is Patrick Mahomes.
It's interesting you say that, Rodney Perry, because I thought you were going to say something else. I'm going to go there in a second, but I want to see what else you finish. Give you a chance to say what else you got to say.
I mean, to be honest, man, Josh Allen and the Bills played great. They fumbled the ball too much. You can't be +3 in turnovers and expect to win a game against Kansas City Chiefs. And how about this? I saw this crazy stat. Quarterbacks trailing with less than a touchdown are like 40% to win the game. Patrick Mahomes is 100% in that situation. 100%, which is crazy.
Very interesting you say that, Dave. Yes, before I give my 2 cents, you got 2 cents you want to add into this, Dave?
Yeah. Listen, sometimes, right, in pro wrestling, you have to have a transitional champion. There has to be somebody to hold the belt so that you can put it on the right person. They needed somebody to play. The Chiefs needed somebody to play before they came to the Eagles. That's all this was. The Bills ain't been hot since the 80s and 90s. And we saw what happened with the 80s and 90s. The Cowboys happened to the Bills. Well, you know what happened to the Bills this time? The Chiefs. Mahomes is a runaway freight train that cannot be stopped. And he's doing this all while co-hosting State Farm commercials with Black Jake from State Farm. The man's a beast.
He is a beast. Rodney Perry, my 2 cents are this. I thought that there were a couple of calls in that game that should have gone to the Chiefs' way. Now, you could say one way or the other you want to. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to say that. Let me just show you to me, which was the game-turning play. Let me show you all, and then Rodney, I want you to tell me what you thought on this.
Tucking it, and now reaching for it. It's as close. He's looking from the other side where the football is. Right there. Does he get enough to get to that line? Just had to get to that line.
All right, so if you're not familiar, the Buffalo Bills
they got a tough spot on that too.
The score is 22-21. The Bills, they had the ball, they were going down marching, and they rushed it to the line to get a first down. I thought they had it by a foot and a half. Matter of fact, the ref on the line who was looking down that line, who was looking directly at the ball, thought they had it too. He came running up to give it to them. You see how? And then the ref who had or towards his back, he gave him coming running towards there, saying it was short. Now, and of course, here's the telltale sign. Most people are not. I don't even know if people caught that. Jones, the defensive end, Jones, Chris Jones, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, he thought they had it too because he put his hand on his shoulder, he put his head down, everything. Look at his body moving. He thought they had it, and then after the refs had a conversation, then he cheered up. He ran to the, he thought they had it too. So after you see that, Rodney Perry, what do you think about that was one of three calls. That was one of three. But after you see that,
I mean, when you get to the conversation about the refs, man, it's just a futile conversation. Nobody's going to own up to it. Nobody's going to take responsibility for that. So you as the Buffalo Bills, you can't make the other mistakes. You can't turn the ball over and fight the refs. You can't do both. Like if they don't, the refs don't matter if they make those plays, if they don't put the ball on the ground. And so the only way to keep the refs out is to beat people's ass.
Interesting. Yeah. Dave?
Yes, sir. So again, I'm reminded that we are living in a world where Trump is president. And on the campaign trail, he said something that I thought was very interesting. They said, if we win, they're going to protest, they're going to do these things. We have to make it too big to rig. That's how you win. That's it. You make the situation too big for the refs to rig it. I have told everyone who has been on this show that all of your special sports that you think are so real are still determined by refs who have earpieces in their ear, no different than WWE. I personally would like to thank the refs because they made a game we were already going to win a blowout. It's the same thing here with the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. The refs will always win the game because now this is, wait for it, Frank, a business. And as a businessman, you already know between DraftKings and sports books and the mob bookers in Vegas, people want their money, Frank. So yeah, nobody wants to see the Bills versus the Eagles. They want a rematch. They want to get it on. They want Clash of the Titans.
I think the NFL wants the rematch too. Rodney Perry, do you think the NFL wants the rematch between the Eagles? They want the Eagles and the Bills. You think that's what they want it?
I don't think so. I mean, it's like this, man. And the Eagle fans will tell you different. But if all this is true, then why even show up? Why even show up next week? You know what I mean? If you think that the whole world is skewed toward the Chiefs, that don't stop at the Super Bowl. So I'm saying like this. They had us thinking that Hurts was hurt. He wasn't hurt. He played outstanding. Saquon Barkley is not a game. Now, I think Buffalo did expose the Kansas City defense because they were vulnerable to the run. I say Saquon Barkley has a yeoman day, and kudos to Patrick Mahomes for getting there, but he might gonna get his ass tore off in the Super Bowl.
If you want to join the show and you want to give your comments to the show, like people are commenting on the side, like my man Larry Whalen says, people lose their jobs if they do not win in the NFL. The refs should lose their jobs for bad or incorrect calls. I kind of like that thought process too. But
we said that last week. That's not going to happen though.
It's not going to happen.
You gotta have that. You gotta have referee integrity. It's just the same way police can snap your ass in half and get away with it.
Yeah, and say, oops. The other part of that is,
let's talk about the Eagles game now, Rodney Perry. What's your take on the Eagles and the Commanders? Because I listen, I would first person tell you, I thought the Commanders were going to win. I thought they were going to surprise them. I thought the Commanders were going to overlook them. What's your take on that, bro?
I mean, it's hard to be a rookie in that situation, man. And the kid was looking great until he wasn't looking great. And again, you can't allow a team to put up 50 points. There is no win for you in that. If I score 50 points on Madden, you probably gonna lose.
After the first play of the game, I knew it was over. And this was the first play of the game when
Saquon breaks that big run.
Here's the first play of the game Philadelphia Eagles have. In case you missed it, first play of the game.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets it. Saquon Barkley, first down. Barkley, oh! Saquon, touchdown.
First play of the game, Rodney Perry. First play. So right then and
Yo,
there, I was like, it's over.
hey, this is a team sport. Hurts plus Saquon Barkley equal a win, man. And I think they can beat the Kansas City Chiefs with that combo.
I think so too. I think so. I think everybody overlooked them. Dave, I think everybody overlooking them. I think everybody just talking about how much they're going to win the three-peat and everything else. I said, okay, all right.
Listen,
Dave,
I don't. I'm not.
know.
I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be arrogant, Frank.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to talk to you like an intellectual. Uncle Rodney's right. Hurts plus Saquon equals that's your ass. But Hurts plus Saquon plus that offensive line plus that defensive line plus AJ Brown. Oh baby, you ready to go night night? You ready to go night night? It was so beautiful. I mean, I loved it. And
Why do people act like Hurts can't play, man? That's baffling to me.
The thing of it is, they like to say that because they mad, because that dude is a franchise player. He's arguably the best quarterback we have had since Michael Vick or Nick Foles. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I can say
Yeah,
whatever
I had
want.
this conversation
It's
with my son. I had this conversation with my son. Like dude, and this gonna sound crazy, but I think that the fix was in with Baltimore. I mean, we got a guy that's got 4 turnovers all year, and he come out and throw the ball away on the first play of the game. You know, so I say all that to say this: if they get to Jalen Hurts and kidnap his mama or something, look for them to lose.
Okay, so this is one thing. Shout out to the guys who are listening and watching on the sideline, like my man Jason Hayes.
What up, Hayes?
He did say, he said, I tried to tell Frank that Washington was a tailor-made for Philly and to smoke that. Yeah, he did say that on the show last week. He did say that. Yeah. Larry Whalen said that was a sick run. We got a couple of people commenting that I can't see their names. My man Kev Fisher's in the building. He said Hurts is underrated with all the stats to prove that he's right there for the MVP talk. Here's what I think, Dave, that people are not looking at right now. Not only is Philly good for this season, they good for next season too. So while you all slipping and with the best offensive line I think I've ever seen in the game, like Dave, I mean, talk about that offensive line. That offensive line, all jokes aside, they look really good.
Listen, they are pushing where they need to push, especially like those tush push runs. You can say whatever you want. We're getting across the goal line. The object of the game is twofold. One, to put butts in seats. Other is to get the ball across the goal line. We are doing both effortlessly and flawlessly. That's the thing. You can have a great quarterback. You can have a phenomenal coach. But if your O-line is not solid and can't help push against the defense and help get your quarterback or your receivers where they need to go, then you're dead in the water. You cannot win. And so in a game of inches, you're not going to beat us.
Yeah, and Rodney Perry, those boys look like a bunch of little Volkswagens, right? The little Volkswagen bugs. When they sat that there, I was like, Saquon could go this way, go that way, you know, whatever way you want. But let me just take 2 steps back and say right now, if I'm the New York Giants right now, if I'm the New York Giants management and everything else, do I even sit there and say, why should I listen to this GM? Because I'm sitting there thinking, like, especially during the game, like, why is this dude still got a job? Like, you made an assessment that it was horrible to pay running backs, and running backs exploded this year. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts?
I mean, you know, I'm a big proponent of running back. I actually was a running back for Carroll High School football team, and you know, being an ex running back myself, man, I like to see when these guys get their money. And it's a tough job. It's a thankless job being a running back in the NFL. I had a friend of mine I played poker with. He played for the Dallas Cowboys. I got another friend that played for the New England Patriots. They were running backs, and it's become an expendable position. I think we've seen more value placed on the running back this year with Saquon, with Derrick Henry. We got people that really know that you need a workhorse to carry that ball and to make a difference, because you can't always rely on the pass.
Dave, if the Philadelphia Eagles win, take your fandom out of it. If the Philadelphia Eagles win, does it bring the NFL back to talking about bringing back the running back and inserting the running back more into the game itself?
I mean, you have to at this point, man. It's bad the way running backs have been treated over the past 5 years in this league. Man, the other day I saw a running back in Jersey sit up here and pay for his groceries with coupons. It's because they're completely undervalued. And the truth of the matter is, Frank, this has been the breakout year for running backs. Point blank and period. Like these cats are finding more holes.
Then what? Then what?
They find more holes than a Diddy party circa 1997. I ain't
Yo.
not been this entertained in football for quite some time, like to the point where my kids are getting scared because I'm clapping like a seal that just got 5 extra fish at SeaWorld.
Here you go with that. Yeah, here you go with that.
Let's go.
Hey, but you know what it is, Frank? It's less about the running back and more about the lineman. Like,
Right.
so one of my buddies, he's a recruiter. He works for the NFL, and he said, Rodney, there are less big men than there used to be. There aren't a lot of big people coming. You know, like them guys you see in Philly, them big 300-pound linemen, you don't see that no more. And so I think as we see more big men, we'll see the running back position be valued more.
Great point, Rodney Perry. You want to follow it up, Dave, before we move on to the next subject?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's as simple as this, Frank. When you understand the fact that this is a different league, this is a slicker, faster league, the whole nine. Even when you look the Commanders quarterback, that dude looked like he got drafted first round out of Lillipusha. Like he is tiny. That man looks like he put up 75,000 yards for the Lollipop Guild Football League. And yes, still the linemen are able to cover. So this is a swifter, faster league, and I'm absolutely excited about it.
Okay, so I don't know if you all even noticed this over the weekend, Rodney Perry. Over the weekend, Brian Schottenheimer was hired. I'm gonna come back to the games before we roll out of this show. Brian Schottenheimer was hired by the Dallas Cowboys to be the new head coach, and I thought Jerry Jones was really, really great about announcing this and everything else. He had this announcement right during the NFC and AFC championship game for the Super Bowl, so it could fly under the radar. This dude has been there with Cowboys for what, 4 years, 5 years? I'm not sure. I'll have my statistician check it. Rodney Perry, do you think that this was a good hire, or do you think it was another puppet hire? What do you think Jerry Jones was doing by hiring Brian Schottenheimer? He moved from the offensive coordinator now to the head coach.
I mean, that's natural progression. You see guys go make that transition. You keep a guy in house. You don't have to. He's a part of your family already. Is this a great hire? I mean, he's been part of the system and getting your ass tore up too. So I mean, does anything change with him be at the helm? I don't know. And so, but I like the idea of having an offensive guy as your leader. That makes sense to me. But he was there. He was there all the time. You lost, he was already there. Like I think they need some new energy, new blood.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They need to get
And
somebody
a lot of the Michael Irvin and those guys ain't happy about this.
Yeah, because he came from Mike McCarthy's tree, and Mike McCarthy and them was losing. Dave, talk to me, man. What you think?
Schottenheimer is the Airbnb of coaching. He's temporary, he's predictable, and he's always leaving you a mess to clean up. Cowboys fans, y'all better hope he don't call plays like it's 2008. Otherwise, we're going to witness Dak Prescott throw 50 passes a game for 3 yards per attempt. This feels less like America's team and more like America's test kitchen. This is absolutely ridiculous. Give Deion Sanders his money. Jerry, listen, bro, I know it's been some time. Turn up your miracle ear, bro. Give Deion his money. Give Primetime his money, bro. Because this ain't going to work out well for you. And people are going to get mad. And I've lived in Dallas as an Eagles fan, and I will tell you, them Cowboys fans are going to fire up their pitchforks and their tiki torches, and they're going to put on their cotton dockers and come see you, homeboy.
Yeah, they definitely 100%. They're definitely going to be upset. And in other news, Pete Carroll gets hired as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, which I thought was a really good move for them. You know what I mean? Because Pete Carroll is still. The only thing is he's now the oldest head coach in the league. What you take on that, Rodney Perry?
I mean, I like Pete Carroll, man. I think he worked wonders out there at Seattle the years he was there when he was in his prime. I think he's out of his prime though.
Mm-hmm.
He's out of his prime. He gave his good years to Seattle. I think the man might be a little too old, man. I think they should get a 30-year-old guy with new ideas and just a new thought process. I mean, the Raiders has been for many years the place where players and coaches go to die, and it's not over.
He said when people go to you hit that to the pasture, Dave. What you think?
Ooh, I mean, Pete Carroll heading to the Raiders, so Vegas is basically being into the whole old school gambler vibe. Nothing says high stakes like a 72-year-old coach running a team in Sin City. You can see him at the blackjack table chewing gum like it owes him money, bro. Like the man right now, like he might bring some discipline, but who's going to say, "Hey, less partying, more tackling"? Nah, dog. This is bad. But if he tries to draft another running back in the first round, Mark Davis might just send him to the slot machines permanently, bro. This is a gamble.
But here's the take, Rodney Perry. They might try to get there's gonna be a QB who's gonna want to play for them because now it's Tom Brady and Pete Carroll. It's gonna want to be a QB. I'm trying to figure out who that QB is gonna be, and I think it might be Shedeur Sanders. I think they might try their best to draft this kid. I think if they draft him, he could probably be the guy at the face to try to change, the culture at the Raiders. What you think, Rodney?
I don't know if they can get Shedeur without bringing in a primetime as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, these guys. I mean, Shedeur, the Sanders boys, the young men, and their dad have been very clear about what they want, and they're using the leverage of family. And they like, look, dog, if you don't hire my sons, you can't get me, and if you don't hire me, you can't get my sons. So, whatever organization they end up at is going to be somebody that's willing to build around Deion as well as Shedeur.
Jason says John Madden coaching from the grave would be better than what the Raiders have had over the past decades. Pete is an upgrade. Better is better. I like Jason's thought process on that one. Dave, what you think?
Well, I mean, I'm with you on the whole Shedeur Sanders thing, but let's face it, bro. Deion Sanders is LeVar Ball with better PR and amazing name recognition. I'm not mad at nepotism. Because at the end of the day, whoever gets Shedeur gets prime time Deion Sanders. The end. And I'm sorry. Again, job number 1 is butts and seats. Job number 2 is getting that ball across the goal line. And job number 2A or 3, depending on how your math shakes out here, is selling a whole lot of merch. And you saw what Primetime does to merch. He took some $20 sunglasses and made $4.8 million on them in a week. It's money for Vegas, and Vegas likes money, baby.
That's why I think he's going to end up in Vegas. I don't know how. I don't know what way, shape, or form. I think Primetime's going to end up in Vegas. Maybe it's the offensive coordinator, maybe it's the defensive coordinator, but I think Shedeur is going there, Rodney. I think Prime is going there. I just don't see how it doesn't happen.
I mean, I like to see Deion and them boys end up in some ways that really need it and it's got a boatload of money. Charlotte. I like to see him in Charlotte. Charlotte, man. I'm telling you something. They got money. They got money. They got coach money. They got player money. Ain't nobody else there. Man, go there and build that city, man. Make Charlotte great again.
All right, so
man, they'd be the Black Panthers.
Yeah, they would
be.
The
Black Panthers.
So, Rodney, check this out. Here's my, I always got them. What do y'all used to call me some kind of name?
The Pelican Brief.
Yeah. I got one. Here's my Pelican Brief.
Okay.
Here you go.
I had one of these in a while. I can't wait.
Yeah, here it is. What if Matthew Stafford decides to force his way out because Matthew Stafford's not happy with the Rams and ends up with the Raiders? What you think?
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I think he needs to change of pace. And it's hard to look at your ex-team actually being good now because it implies that you were the reason that they wasn't good.
Right.
And so I think he's looking for a place to have a new home, and he's that type of quarterback that a person like Tom Brady will like. He's that classic quarterback. And I don't know, it's not a bad idea. I'm not mad at that Pelican Brief.
Yeah, thank you, Rodney. Appreciate that. My Pelican Brief, as he like to call it, has literally Matthew Stafford forcing his way out because Matthew Stafford has not decided he's going to sign back with the Rams.
Yeah.
He ain't forcing nothing. They want his ass up out of there.
That's possible. That's possible. Because his hit is going to be huge, and they can't afford his hit. It's going to be huge. Yeah. Almost as bad as Tyreek Hill's $50 million a season for the Dolphins year after next. And I'll get to that in a second. I want to ask you, Dave, Matthew Stafford end up at Vegas Raiders with Pete Carroll and Tom Brady or somewhere else?
Well, Frank, let's be real. Stafford in silver and black sounds good until you remember his body's being held together by duct tape and dreams at this point, right? Vegas would need an actual chiropractor on the sidelines. Plus, can you imagine Stafford throwing deep to Devontae Adams? Beautiful. But can you also imagine him throwing a pick six in the fourth quarter because Josh McDaniels called the most obvious play of all time? Classic Raiders. But I think Stafford in Vegas feels like a high roller move, but knowing the Raiders is probably coming up with house odds.
Okay. All right. See, I like that. I like that comment. But part two of my Pelican brief is literally I gave to it, Rodney Perry. Part two of my Pelican brief is Tyreek Hill forces his way out from Miami Dolphins with Matthew Stafford, and they go to the Raiders. Yeah, that's because Matthew Stafford right now is unhappy. Tyreek Hill's only a $25 million hit. He is not necessarily going to go stay with Miami. I don't know. Pete Carroll, Tom Brady, Las Vegas Raiders. You have a great shot of rebuilding something over there. How's my Pelican brief looking right now, Rodney Perry?
I think it just fell apart, man. Let me tell you something about Florida and the tax-free money you walk home with. You're not leaving that unless you absolutely have to. Where do you go? You go Texas. They tax-free as well. They don't no state taxes. And you also go back to Kansas City. That's the Pelican brief. Tyreek Hill back to KC. And I said it's coming, man. I'm telling you, watch it. Mark my words.
Pride ain't gonna let him go back to Kansas City. I don't see that, Rodney. Where you see Tyreek Hill ended up at?
I don't know, but I'm.
Hold on, Dave. Go ahead. What you gonna
No. Go ahead.
All right, Dave. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Nah, man, Tyreek Hill to the Raiders with Stafford is intriguing to me. It's like you just turning Raiders into the Madden on rookie mode at this point. Stafford chucking bombs at Tyreek, that's like giving a Ferrari to a man who just learned how to parallel park. It's dangerous, but oh my God, is it exhilarating? Because when you think of the possibilities, Frank, it's going to be like playoff game every single Sunday. It has the promise to live up to the hype of what Ocho Cinco and oh my God, Terrell Owens were trying to do when they said, "Oh, we're gonna have all our games on pay-per-view," and it didn't happen. But if they can pull this off, bro, it's gonna be must-see TV. And you know what ratings equal? I'm a businessman, Frank. How you going with this Pelican brief?
Hey, I'm just trying to put it together the way I think that Tom Brady's going to put it together, and I don't think people are looking at that at all. And Tom Brady's coming under the radar. I think Tom Brady's trying to pick people who he could get, Rodney, who are sitting around, and he thinks that they're going to be sputtering, and something like how he used to do with the Patriots, and how he 100% did when he went to Tampa Bay. If you remember, when he went to Tampa Bay, he plucked himself a running back. And he got a great running back. I forgot that boy's name. He was not Tennessee. It'll come to me in a second. I gotta get my guys come. He got him. He brought Gronk down from the Patriots. They already had a couple of wide receivers, and he just plucked and picked the plays to help him do what he's trying to do.
They had a good wide receiver already.
Yeah. So he realized they needed a running back. They needed a tight end to help the engine go. I think he's trying to do the exact same thing as part owner of this. So that's why I'm saying that. But Rodney, am I overlooking something with the Raiders? What's your thought?
This is the problem. The Raiders are still the Raiders. You know what I mean? Let's not forget the Raiders are still the Raiders. They're gonna find a way to lose. I talked to my son about this weekend. We was talking, and he's like, "Dad, but." I said, "Hold up, son. Let me tell you something about winners. Winning is a state of mind. And when you've been getting your ass whooped for 20 or 30 years, it's hard to become a winner overnight. And I love Tom Brady as a part of the organization. But the thing about great players is they don't know how to do nothing else. They expect everybody can do what they did. And it ain't like that. It ain't like that. I would be surprised if the Raiders made it to the playoffs. I'd be surprised.
So Rodney, let's switch gears. If you're the Baltimore Ravens right now, and you sitting there saying, we had everything. Do you make changes, or you run it back with what you got?
I personally would run it back, but I think they're gonna make some change. I think they're gonna get ready to coach.
Really?
I think they're gonna get rid of the coach. I personally wouldn't change a thing, but it's proven that this coach is inept when it comes to crunch time.
See, you sound like the people out of Buffalo, because the people of Buffalo complaining too about Buffalo. They want to change the coach too. So
everybody, let me tell you about losing. Nobody like losing. Losing makes the most expendable person on the football team is the coach. You know, and so they get rid of that coach. Matter of fact, they might even switch coaches. They might send old boy from Buffalo down to down to Baltimore and vice versa.
Just do a coach exchange.
Hey man, will you let me get your guy and you get my guy. They both losers, but who knows?
Dave, if
Yes, sir.
you're them, do you think that the coaching is the issue in Buffalo and in Baltimore? Let's start with Baltimore first. If you Baltimore, do you running back what you got?
I think you're running back with what you got. You got about 17 years ago, I get a call from a man. And he was calling me because I made some very harsh, very public criticisms of a show he was on. And he said something to me that changed the course of my career. He said, a lot of times, a lot of shows that could be phenomenal will never get the opportunity to find their legs. You got to give things time to fester. Seinfeld got 5 years to pop. We don't normally get that. That's what happens with coaches, right? When something goes wrong, they want to blame the coach. But my whole thing is, who's running the show? Because if you know how football actually works, it's not the coaches who are making the calls. It's not the offensive, defensive coordinators. It's not special teams coach. It's not strength and conditioning. It's the front office. And the front office knows about as much about football as my daughter knows about parallel parking. She's 9 with autism. So they will always pass the buck and give the scapegoat. And the scapegoat is always the guy with the clipboard and the headset. See, it's not fixing anything because the actual thing that you need to fix is the cancerous front office.
See, Rodney, that brings up my point is because Buffalo has these same issues. Baltimore has some of these same issues. It brings up to the Kansas City point of this whole thing of this whole episode is Kansas City the best all time? And is everybody's problem Kansas City and will they repeat? I mean, will they three-peat? What's your take on this, Rodney?
Everybody's problem is definitely Kansas City. This is the worst season we've seen from this team, and yet they still win. They find a way to win. Winning is a culture. Winning is a way of life. And this organization, this team, whether they're helped by the refs or not, these guys find a way to win. If Patrick Mahomes is trailing going into the fourth quarter with minutes to play, he's gonna figure it out how to win. And you can't say that with Josh Allen. You can't say that with Lamar Jackson either. No. So while I think these are great quarterbacks, the battle for the MVP was real, right? But Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are the truth. They will three-peat. Sorry, Philly. And I mean, I want to root for Philly, man. It just seemed like a blacker team to me, but
because it is. We're actually black.
They don't get their black ass whooped.
Okay, Dave, take your fandom out of it. Take your fandom out of it.
Yes, sir.
If Kansas City was to three-peat, is this the best franchise all time if they were to three-peat?
First of all, if they three-peat, they need to thank us. Because let's face it, there is something. You ever see these people? You know, they're always the bridesmaid, never a bride type people. Like when they go and they get with one particular person, it's horrible. But the next person they get with, they have the most phenomenal relationship. There's children, picket fence, the whole nine. That's us. You can pick a sport in Philadelphia. You can pick a team. And when you leave us, you become phenomenal. Charles Barkley could not see the inside of an NBA final until he left for Phoenix, right? Eric Lindros on the Flyers didn't see anything until he got his ass up out of Philly. Reggie White, the minister of defense, went to Green Bay and put on a clinic. To this day, they talk about him like he's Vince Lombardi himself. So I'm sorry. Who's the Kansas City Chiefs coach again? Where was he before Kansas City? Oh, okay, cool. So my whole thing is, anyway you slice it, Philadelphia wins. But by the way, Uncle Rodney, and you know I love you and I owe you a lot. But with all due respect, you might want to keep your words soft and sweet because you might have to eat them. Because this team is going to be something. And this team, listen, I don't think you understand what happens when Philly's angry and hungry, and we know how to get down there for some po' boys and some beignets, and we're going to put some with some cheesesteak filling. Oh, homie, I don't think you understand what's about to happen. This is a different team, and nobody believes we can do it.
Hey, man, I really love what you're saying, Bully, and I, to be honest, I want to see Philadelphia win. I really do. You know, I like Gilly out there. I like the dance moves. I love all that stuff. The fandom. But at the same time, I think Philly is headed to the great Diddy party in the sky.
The
So
great
all
Diddy
type of
party in the
baby
sky.
oil waiting on them. You know, and
Yeah.
hey man, just try not to slip up out of there.
All right, let me just ask you about the Washington Commanders who lost this weekend. A lot of people were saying they shouldn't even have been there, Rodney. You know, and let me just ask you, what do you think they need to get them over the hump? And do you think they'll be back next year? Because in my opinion, I think they surprised a lot of people, and I think it might be harder for them to get back next year because Detroit's going to be ready. Detroit overlooked them. You know what I mean? Philly definitely even get a chance to play them. You know, I don't think you're going to surprise a lot of people next year. But if they land a certain person, and I keep using the same person's name like Tyreek Hill, if they land, they one wide receiver away also of being a spectacular team too. But what's your take, Rodney? What you think? You think the
I
Commanders going to be
mean,
there
you know,
next
the
year?
thing. This is the thing about the NFL. The NFL is an amoeba. It's a learning, growing organism, and they figure you out. You know, if you had a season where we didn't really know, and now we know, they're gonna be on your. They're gonna be on you the following season. So, but I don't think the young kid Jaden will get anywhere. He's not gonna get worse, and all they can do is give him more tools, and you know, I think he need to upgrade his running game a little bit. I think he needs about two more tools on in the receiving core, and that they could be a great team. But guess what? Houston ain't gonna get no worse. Detroit ain't gonna get no worse. Baltimore ain't gonna get worse. Um, all these teams, you know, are gonna get better. So Atlanta is going to be good next year. So it's going to be a lot of teams that's going to be their moment. And so I think this was a cool window for a rookie to come through, but he might have to wait 5 more seasons before he get back.
Oh, he said 5 more seasons. I don't know if it's going to take 5 more seasons, Dave, but how many more seasons do you think it will be before the Commanders get back to where they were? And will they be able to surprise some folks coming up next season?
A lot of times, the thing that I have learned that I did not know when I was much younger is you can't automatically react and do the first thing that you wanted to do. Orange Juice Jones had a song when I was a kid, and my favorite part of that song is when he said, "See, now my first impulse was to run up on you, do a Rambo, pull out the jammy, and flat black the both leaves."
Yeah.
But I didn't want to mess up this $3,700 Lynx coat, so instead
I chill.
I chilled. Shout out to Toure, because when Gordon does that bit, my God. But the truth of the matter is, Washington is still Washington. And my dearly departed father, God rest his soul, who was a Washington Redskins fan, would say that that team loves to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. They're going to dismantle this team piecemeal. And it's going to be the biggest mistake, as much as I want to disagree with my beautiful uncle there. The truth of the matter is, it may take longer. It may take longer than 5 seasons because they're going to pull apart that team like I used to do crispy rolls, bro. Just with the cheese pull, just rip it apart and see what happens, bro. No, like, see, you can't have a fat ass mentality and try to build a championship franchise, Frank. That's all.
I'm
Stop
just
pulling the
surprised
cheese.
that both of you think that the Washington Commanders are not going to be here for another 5 years. I'm just surprised.
If they don't keep the team that they got, Frank, there's no way. But they're going to make stupid knee-jerk reaction changes.
I think they're going to add some pieces, though. I think they're going to add some great pieces. I can't see them not adding some great pieces. I think they're going to. And then on top of that, I think people are going to want to play there because people are going to, they see the potential that this kid got. I think they're going to want to play for them. So I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, the young man is still a rookie, man. This is rookie season. He played outstanding. Does he just keep getting better? Is he going to keep getting better? Or you know, or is he a Lilliputian, as my esteemed colleague would say? I mean, the reality is, man, I think that the guy had a great season. The stars lined up for him, and he needs those stars to line up again, and that might not happen, man.
Yeah.
All right, so 20 minutes before to switch subject, 20 minutes before I got in the air, maybe 30 minutes before I got in the air, I saw a news flash that I had to bring up. Couldn't wait to ask you guys this. Jimmy Butler got suspended by the Miami Heat indefinitely for always missing team meetings, team planes, just always not being there. Just always just being a disruption on the team. Pat Riley's had enough. He suspended him. So Rodney Perry, I called my boy. I said, Kev, I think right now Jimmy Butler can land anywhere for a bag of peanuts. So what's your take on this, Rodney? Do you think he's definitely gonna get traded. He definitely gonna get traded. But what do you think,
Well,
and where do you think he's gonna land right now? Because he's gonna go for a piecemeal. He literally gonna go for, even though his contract is really crazy. What you think?
I mean, this thing about Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler is a great player, and he don't want to be in Miami no more. I like Houston for him.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I'm thinking Houston. Houston comes to mind. He will never be a Laker because they don't tolerate that mess either. But he's gonna go somewhere where they aren't as stringent. Maybe he could shine in Milwaukee. Maybe he could shine in Houston, and his skill set will be appreciated. And I think he's feeling underappreciated in Miami.
Honestly, I
And
love.
also with Udonis Haslam going, and that was kind of their regulator. He kept a lot of people on the straight and narrow, and
Yeah.
he's not there no more. I think that affects everybody.
Yeah, and I like that Houston, Rodney. I really, really like that Houston edition. I don't even think you can sit there in front that. I like that Houston edition. Dave,
Yes,
like I
sir.
said, Jimmy Butler's gonna be gone for a bag of peanuts. Where you see him going to, and I don't even know how you top the Houston edition, but because that's a perfect fit. That one veteran coming in with all them young boys, and Houston's number 2 in the West.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Frankie, it's a great point. I'm gonna need a little latitude on this one, so I apologize, box seats viewers. You're gonna have to stick with me for a minute because I've got 4 places I think Jimmy Butler could land. Coming in at number 4, the LA Clippers. Kawhi and Jimmy would be terrifying on both ends of the floor. If Kawhi decides to play, then the Clippers need that energy. Jimmy's
You need Kawhi to
Energizer
play a
Bunny.
whole season.
Get it off. Let me get it off. Right? Sacramento. Hear me out. This team is young and hungry, but Jimmy could be that vet that turned that scrappy roster into a contender. And I'm going to gain my 300 pounds back. But let's keep going. Number 2, Milwaukee. To Uncle Rodney's point, Jimmy with Giannis the Adonis. Oh man, that is a horror movie for the Eastern Conference, right? If Giannis is driving the paint and Jimmy's hitting clutch shots like it's another Tuesday, the issue is the Bucks don't got the cap space. So there's only one place, and I say one place, and it is there, and only there, where Jimmy Butler will find the magic that he seeks, where he gets that interglow, where he starts catching bullets with his teeth. The Philadelphia 76ers.
Wow.
First of all, the city might finally get over the Ben Simmons PTSD, but Jimmy would bring that killer mentality for Philly that they live for. And then coming off of what we're about to do in less than 2 weeks, oh man, can you imagine the homecoming that man gets?
Yeah,
What do y'all think about this? What do y'all think about Jimmy Butler going to the Knicks?
I like that too.
I think that could be a good look for him. It's a big market. Like I don't think he's going to no Sacramento. I think the market too small. But I think he go to a big market and he could really shine in New York. I mean, I like Karl Anthony Towns out there in New York now, and they need like a Jimmy Butler to get him some, and they got that point guard. I think Jimmy Butler could fit in and be part of the big 3 out there.
Yeah, but my man Jason, he said right here, he's a culture killer because he has that player option in his contract. But most importantly, wherever he goes, he always ends up disgruntled, and he can, ruin the team. You think he can do that in New York, Rodney?
I mean, New York people are always disgruntled, so they love it.
Default.
They stay mad. All the New Yorkers stay upset. They love it.
Dave, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, come on. New York be like, yo, son, the Knicks is effing up, son. Yo, son, somebody stepped on our butter, son. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I think the Knicks need a kick in the butt. Do you have any idea the excitement that the Knicks will not be this exciting since Whoopi Goldberg played the coach in that movie Eddie with Frank Langella in 1992.
Wow.
I'm saying that was the only time Knicks basketball has been exciting in my lifetime.
Wow. Okay, so Rodney, let me switch gears and talk to you about the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks, they're falling. They don't look good at all right now where they were this time last year. I think they're 10th. You see, they're 10th in the West. No, they're 11th in the West. Obviously the Steph Curry and those guys, they're 10th in the West too. So who's the future coming out of the West that you like? Because honestly, Dallas ain't it, and they made that play to get Clay, and that Clay that play's not panning out the way they thought. Who you like?
I mean, I don't start paying attention to in NBA basketball till after the All-Star break, and I think everybody got time to find themselves. I think Clay was a great addition. I like everybody over there. I like Kyrie. I like the other. What's the Jokic?
Jokic is on the other team.
How you say Luca? Luca. I'm sorry, Luca.
Luka
I like
Doncic. Yeah.
Luca. I like Luca. Luca's still a primetime player, and they look like they're falling apart. But we're still pre All-Star break, so leading up to the next few weeks, I think they're gonna find their legs and make a push for the playoffs, like they do every year.
Interesting. Dave, what's your take on this? How you thinking it's panning out
Okay,
for Dallas
Frank.
Mavericks?
Frank,
Huh?
no, I understood. Listen, I lived in Dallas for a very long time, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Frank. All jokes aside, the Mavericks look so bad right now. Luca might start googling how to say "help me" in Texan so he can get the hell up out of there. Like it's bad, man. I'm trying to understand. The Mavs defense is so bad; it's starting to look like they're allergic to guarding people, bro. Like if they just don't have like 6 feet and a couple of masks on, they're not going to do a damn thing on that court. And if Clay doesn't figure out soon how Dallas is going to start figuring out if Steph's brother's status got revoked, man, because it's bad, bro. Like I feel bad for them.
Here's my I always got Rodney calls me my Pelican brief. I always got before I even give out my Pelican brief. Rodney, you got a Pelican brief for an NBA trade that you can see happening? Because
You know what? This is my Pelican brief. The Chicago Bulls will continue to be horrible.
That's not a Pelican brief. But I understand your point. It's not a Pelican brief, though. Rodney, Pelican brief is, I'm always putting together pieces to make it make sense to the team to get to where they got to get to. You know what I mean?
You go right ahead. Go spit it out so I can pull my pants down and dookie on it.
All right. All right, here's my Pelican brief. Somehow or another, I think Jimmy Butler is going to land in Houston or Phoenix. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a 3 or 4 player, team trade and everything else. But I think if Phoenix somehow pulls it off and they're able to get Jimmy Butler over there, I think that what Phoenix is able to give out of that, I think can help the Phoenix Suns move a little bit further along, because I think they're going to give up so many of their draft picks that they're going to want to force to make that work with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Even though Bradley Beal's going to probably be out of there, I think they're going to try with Devin Booker, with Kevin Durant, and Jimmy Butler, and ship Bradley Beal out of there because his contract is so huge. You like that Pelican brief, Rodney?
I mean, when we were talking before for Jimmy Butler, I did kind of think of San Antonio as an option, but I mean, Phoenix. I'm sorry, Phoenix is an option. I think San Antonio will be an even more viable option for a guy like Jimmy Butler. I just don't like Jimmy Butler in that situation. It just don't feel right. Some about it don't feel right. I like Houston a whole lot better for Jimmy Butler, and no, I don't see it.
You know what I want to throw out there too before I go to Dave? If in a world of wishes and everything else, I wish Kevin Durant would get out of Phoenix. I just want to throw that out there.
I
wish he got.
So why you gonna go somewhere where the best number 2 player in the world want to leave?
Yeah. I if I'm him, but I don't know if he want to leave Phoenix. I just don't think he want to leave Phoenix. Dave, you heard my Pelican brief. That's my wishful Pelican brief. I think Jimmy Butler is going to figure out a way to land in Phoenix. I think Bradley Beal is going to be out, and I think he's going to play with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And I just see it. And again, I don't think it's going to help Phoenix at all. I think that's what's going to happen, though. What's your Pelican brief, Dave? Because I know you got a whole bunch of hypotheticals.
Yeah, man. I would love more than anything. My Pelican brief sounds so damn absolutely asinine. It's never going to happen.
Okay.
Allen Iverson becomes. See, I didn't even say nothing yet. I ain't say
Allen Iverson. I already started at the top. Let that Philadelphia stuff come out. You're bleeding green, bro. But go ahead.
I'm actually bleeding red, white, and blue if I'm talking Iverson, right? Okay, no, I think Allen Iverson is being completely underutilized, and I think what he is going to do that is going to improve the league is create a documentary series on what it really means to be an innovator and what it means to learn lessons from all the dumb stuff he did. But the smart thing that his management did was that Reebok deal. That Reebok was the only reason that man's a millionaire today because that boy had double the entourage Hammer did. I lived in Philly. We used to call TGI Fridays on City Line Avenue Iverson's office because he would shut it down. It turned into a club when he was there. I think Iverson is the prototype for everything that people try to get on the league for now. And I think he's going to have a major impact in the next 3 years with the way he mentors. That's my Pelican brief. It is.
Okay. All right.
It's not just a Philly thing, it's a league thing because he's a sacrificial lamb for all the stuff that these Negroes are doing now. Not the zesty purses and those schoolboy Mary Poppins pants, but the rest of it.
Zesty purposes. There's a whole lot of that going on, bro. All right, so I'm getting ready to roll up out of here. I want to thank you all for joining the show. Before I got out of here, man, Rodney, give me your Pelican brief for in the NFL. Like, what would you like to see in the NFL happen for next season, and who you like to see go where, and play with who?
Of course, man. I like to see my Bears become good some kind of way. I think we got almost all the personnel. We need an offensive line like yesterday. And other than that, I think we got a good quarterback. I think we got decent receivers. We just don't have. We had a decent defense. We just don't protect the quarterback well enough. And if we can figure that out, the Bears could be a viable team going into 2025-26 season.
Rodney, the Bears got a great offense. The coaching was terrible. So,
but it's the offensive line.
Yeah.
No protection. Every quarterback is pitiful when they land on the ground.
Bro, you talking to a New England Patriots fan here. I know. I know. And that's why this offensive line that Dave is talking about is going to the Super Bowl. Because ultimately, Dave, what's your Pelican brief? What would you like to see happen before you roll up out of here?
As far as
in the NFL.
I just want everybody to be ready to kneel before the great team that is the Philadelphia Eagles because y'all keep acting like, listen, ain't y'all tired of this? Like, I would be so tired. Whereas though every time I say this and then we go and we win a Super Bowl or we go and have an undefeated, damn near perfect season, that y'all would stop fighting it. Y'all just need to let it happen. Just let it happen. Just take this tainted baby oil and let it just moisturize the parts that no one has seen. Loosen you up.
Let me bring in
white chocolate.
Let me bring in white chocolate.
White chocolate.
Hey fellas, how you doing?
Good. You out of here, white chocolate. Did I miss anything? Did I make a mistake? Anything? You get was I on point today or what?
Pretty much on point. Listen, let me chime in on the Pelican brief for the NFL.
Okay.
I want these refs to stop acting like friggin' Mr. Magoo and start getting the freaking calls right and knock this crap off. I'm tired of these. I'm tired of these bull crap calls. And I'm not saying that the Chiefs won because of 2 calls, but you know what? I think there's one thing I want to change. It's the catch, non-catch. That ball hit the ground yesterday, and so I don't care if the guy's arm is wrapped around it or not. If the ball touches the ground, it's incomplete, and that eliminates all doubt about what the catch is and what it's not. So
that wasn't even the part that bothered me. The part that bothered me was the 4th and 1. That was the first down. That changed the whole tide of the game.
That too, but listen. Even with replay assist, I told you already. Taylor's not going home sad. Taylor and Travis are going to be, hugging and kissing on the field after the Super Bowl. That's the way they want it.
Yeah,
and I want the Eagles to win. I don't want to see a three-peat. So
I'm an Eagles fan for the next 2 weeks myself because I want them to win too.
I work with an Eagles fan. I have a guy at work that loves the Eagles, and he was all pumping himself up today. So listen, it's Eagles or bust at this point. I don't want a three-peat.
Hey, white chocolate. Can you in good conscience root against Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
Listen, yes, because
I'm not talking to Frank. Frank is willing to be insane.
He'll sell his mother.
I would say yes, root against Patrick Mahomes. I've been rooting for him for the last 5 years. And
okay, not root against him. Not root against him.
No. It's because
bet against him. Would you bet against him?
No, that's what he's good. This is why we want him to lose. He'll come through in the clutch. He makes all the plays, and that's why we don't like him. You know what I mean? You can't bet against him. And
I wouldn't put $1 against Patrick Mahomes.
Ric Flair says it. You got to beat. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man, and nobody's beaten Patrick Mahomes yet. So except for Tom Brady.
Rodney Perry, there's that dollar.
I'm not betting $1.
It's a green dollar.
Rodney Perry, tell everybody out there what you got going on this weekend before you roll up out of here.
Rodney?
Oh, me. Oh, this weekend, Arlington Improv, Arlington, Texas. I'm looking forward to a great weekend, man. Shouts out to all the folks out there, Arlington, Texas, man. Rodney Perry will be in the building. The following week, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Uptown Comedy Corner. The week after that, Valentine's weekend, I will be in Cleveland, Ohio for Valentine's weekend. So, Super Bowl weekend, I will be in Atlanta, Georgia. Though we will be here.
And you want to tell everybody about that podcast, Rodney?
Oh yeah, Comedy and Crime is going down now every Tuesday. A brand new show every Tuesday for the next 7 weeks. Comedy and Crime. We have comedians. We have comedians on board. We talk about different real true crime stories. And up next, I believe we're talking about the Carter High School Carter High School football team. You familiar with them, Frank?
No, I am not.
So in the 80s, 1988 to be exact, the high school football team is going to state. They're the team showcased in Friday Night Lights, the black team.
Uh-huh.
The team actually won in real life, but after that season, about 10 of the players went on a robbing spree around that city.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's a great story, man, and we covered it on Comedy and Crime.
What's funny about that? I think that. I mean, it's funny that you said that's hilarious. That they decided, you know what? Let's steal.
I mean, it's interesting, but we're comedians talking about it, so we kind of make it funny.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the thought, bro. You know what? Let's go steal. Let's go. You know, we had this town happy. Let's go steal.
Dude,
Yeah.
they could literally have went anywhere. According to the guy we had on the show, they could have went anywhere and just people would have gave them stuff because they were revered. They were the state champs, but they were stealing, and people knew who they were. They were like, "Hey, that's Willie Taylor."
Is that not the dumbest? Is your podcast called The Dumbest People Who Ever Commit Crime?
I got some dumb criminals, but these are not them. Most criminals though are pretty stupid.
That has to be the top 10 in the stupidity. Talk about that later. Dave, tell me everything you got going on with that dollar of yours hanging up there for.
I'm just saying that the dollar is green, so are the Eagles. I will not be in Arlington this weekend because Uncle Rodney sold me out, but that's okay. No, I'm kidding. No, my whole thing right now, bro, is I'm just happy to be here. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? My wife had her cataracts removed, which is absolutely awesome. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how we in our mid-40s with cataracts, but guess what? Like, listen, she gonna see everything.
Here we go.
She see everything.
But thank you for taking the time to enjoy the show, Dave. I greatly appreciate you, especially with that Eagles thing on you. I can only tolerate you so much this week and next week.
It's okay.
Yeah, I can only tolerate you.
Listen, I'm accepting all Eagles merch.
Was way bigger.
Yeah, no. Listen, I could have made 5 hoodies out of my old Eagles hoodie. That thing was a 6X.
And thank you all for watching the show. I appreciate you. Tomorrow we got comedian Marion. Let me see. I want to make sure I pronounce his name correctly. We have comedian Marlon Randolph tomorrow. He's gonna be filling in.
Oh, great guy.
Great guy.
Very funny.
Yeah, and a huge Detroit Lions fan. Can't wait to talk to him. He took about a week or so to come up from the ground. He's still suffering. So can't wait to talk to him. Haven't talked to him in a couple of years. So
the girl was great last week too. The girl was really dope.
The girl going to be here tomorrow, so we're going to continue to move her on to. And Roger, you can join the show tomorrow too if you have the time. I understand how time is, but thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining the show. The show is called Box Seats. Thank you to my producers, Kevin Lane and White Chocolate. Thank you guys doing what you do. We'll be back on tomorrow, 5 to 6, Monday through Friday, and we'll see you all then. We're just going to get the show going where it needs to get it to go to. But thank you all for joining. Appreciate y'all.